Mr. Saktiandi Supat.
Mr. Speaker, question 17, please.
Speaker, sir, pre-employment training, or PET, is often referred to as education. It is a formative experience to equip our young with a meaningful, carefully designed body of knowledge and skills to help them become independent, contributing members of society. The focus is on values, civic consciousness, foundational skills like literacy and numeracy, and certain domain expertise to kickstart a career and a journey of lifelong learning. Continuing education and training, or CET, often referred to as training, is to build upon PET, to upgrade skills and knowledge, keep up with technology and changes in the industry, or even to pick up another set of domain expertise. The focus is on competencies at the workplace. Sir, in general, policymakers throughout the world put more public resources on PET because it influences children and the young and has profound impact on nation and society. CET, on the other hand, is often more beneficial to the individual as it imparts skills and competencies which he can use at his workplace. Singapore is one of the few countries in the world that takes a lifelong learning approach and organizes this within one ministry. For PET, most primary and secondary schools require minimal co-payment of school fees. Higher education at ITE, polytechnics, and autonomous universities also attract significant government funding. Students who need additional help can further apply for bursaries and financial assistance. CET is also funded substantially, but with greater gradation depending on the context and outcomes. For example, for a professional conversion program, which we are placing a displaced worker into a new industry, we fund it most generously, including wages while he's undergoing training. We also provide more support to training of workers in SMEs and older workers. Other training programs may be funded at up to 70% to help defray the cost of training that can help a company or worker derive individual benefits. While this is the broad consideration, the division between PET and CET is never neat. For example, adult learners may decide to attend full-time NITEC or polytechnic diploma programs, while an individual who did not attend many years of formal education may undergo CET programs as part of his formative education and skills upgrading. The integration of Skills Future Singapore into MOE has raised the awareness of these complexities. But by and large, the system is conceptually sound, and we will iron out the arrangements over time. Thank you.
Mr. Saktiandi.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I'd like to thank the SMS for the answer. Let me clarify my question per se. Essentially, it's a broader policy question in regards of how government is signaling our efforts to develop a culture of continuous learning in Singapore. But also on the back of it is actually due to some of my recent visits to the ITE and talking to the teachers and students. They shared that there has been a rising number, like as you have alluded to earlier, a rising number of adult learners going to IHLs and ITEs as well. And with regards to recent speeches by Dr. Amy Kaur, SMS for Manpower and Health in 2016, she highlighted this close linkage between PET and CET when she went to highlighted the Chemical Process Technology Center, where there was a double-day allocation of $8 million and 1,650 post-secondary education institution students actually benefited from this CPTC sort of arrangement over 3 years. So the government has actually worked to merge PET and CET together in some small sort of cases like this. I was wondering what more can the government do in terms of signaling more about how we can actually merge PET and CET in some grey areas, or in the future, what are the long-term sort of strategy that the government plans to do, particularly in the sense of developing a culture of continuous learning in Singapore and going forward. Thank you.
Speaker, sir, I thank the member for his questions. he's right that the culture of lifelong learning doesn't stop at learning in school or in the IHLs. After the individual has left IHLs, left schools, we want this learning to continue for life. And that's why the lines between education institutions and workplace needs to be further blurred, so that for someone in school, in an IHL, we want to bring workplace requirements and workplace experiences into our schools and into our IHLs. Internships, job relevant skills, these are elements which we want to be able to bring into our schools and our IHLs. The other way is equally important. We want to be able to bring our workers who have already started work, who have already left school, to go back and do further upgrading of skills, lifelong learning. And this is why the direction that the Ministry of Education has taken in recent years is to encourage our IHLs to not only focus on providing PET, but to also look at being providers of CET and make that a core part of their mission. So if we can do this well, we are then able to have this two-way flow. What the workplace requires in terms of skills and experience, bring it into the schools and IHLs, and to be able to then also bring our workers back to reskill, to upskill. Sir, one very important enabler to allow this to happen is actually our strong tripartite partnership in Singapore. And this is something which is not found in many other countries, but here we have it. We want to continue to nurture, treasure this very strong partnership that we've built up over the years, because it is very helpful. When it comes to retraining, we need the workers to be on board, the labour movement. We also need the employers to be on board. And that's why government, together with employers and union, we need to continue to work on this. Because this is, as you said, a lifelong pursuit, changing the culture, making lifelong learning part of our DNA. Thank you.
Ms. Denise Poh.
SMS, just want to seek a clarification. Okay. And for example, those adult Singaporeans who want to pursue a second or third degree in, for example, skills that are like in demand, like cybersecurity or data analytics or occupational therapy or speech pathology, do they get to receive subsidized fees when they enter our local universities? Because I have the impression that they don't get that, because it's bites of the cherry, depending on how many times they have received subsidy. And if they don't, then why not? Because these skills are in demand.
Mr. Speaker, sir, thank Mr. Nis Pua for raising this very important question. Indeed, we want to provide opportunities for adult learners who want to switch careers and who want to pick up a new skill to be able to go through such lifelong learning skills upgrading programs. So what we have provided are various schemes under the Skills Future movement. For example, we have the Skills Future Mid-Career Enhanced Subsidy, which provides up to 90% subsidy for Singaporeans aged 40 and above. And in addition, mid-career individuals who wish to reskill and switch careers can tap on the Professional Conversion Programs, or PCPs, under the Adapt and Grow initiative, which provide training and salary support for up to 90% of their employers for the duration of the training. So these are all different schemes that the government has provided to be able to help our workers who need to pick up a new skill, to be able to transit to a new career, or sometimes just to pick up additional skills to do their current jobs in their current industries. Do it at a higher level, do it better. So we will look at such ways to support. The CET, even if you do it not as part of one of these enhanced programs, we still provide general subsidies of 70% subsidies. If you join one of these programs, there will be additional subsidies up to 90%. It also depends on the profile of the employer and the profile of the worker. Older workers, as well as workers who are working in SMEs, we do provide more funding support. So to answer Mr. Nis Pua's question, the evolution of these various causes has to move in tandem with what the economy requires. So when there are new requirements, there are new skills required, there will be new courses that will be able to be added to the list and new courses that can be funded as part of Skills Future. So it's an ongoing thing. It's something which I think we will continuously look at to see what we can do to continue to support our workers.
We can keep it brief. Dr. Intan.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, SMS. Following up on the Honourable Ms. Denise Paul's question, is that increasingly the lines between CET and PET are being blurred. For example, increasingly more IHLs are introducing stackable modules or stackable courses that lead to a qualification like a diploma or degree. So how then do you reconcile the funding model then between PET and CET? Because you can have someone with already a degree, but through stackable modules you can get another degree eventually.
So I think we want to look at how do we help our workers to achieve the necessary skills that are relevant for their careers. And there needs to be a balance between, because the resources that we have are limited. So when you divert resources into one area, it means you have less resources for another area. So it depends on where you want to put your resources into. And in our case, I think a decision has been taken to say, let's focus on helping workers who need to go through training because they're switching careers or they are displaced from their original jobs. They need to look for a new job. We also want to look at how to help people who want to upgrade their skills. Say they are having a NITEC or higher NITEC, they are going for a poly diploma, or if they have a poly diploma, they are going for a degree. How do we help them in areas that are relevant to their work to be able to do so? For someone who is going for something that actually benefits the individual more, for example, if you're going for postgraduate degrees or you're going for your second or third degree, it's not that we don't fund you, but I think the funding will have to be calibrated depending on the competing needs for different groups of individuals. Thank you.